Has the bull market finally started? Has the bear market finally ended? Bitcoin has been on a beautiful uptrend for the past several months, and as of recent, we've been trading in this upward sloping channel for the past several weeks. Everything is looking beautiful and bullish in my opinion, but what I'm seeing right now is the potential for a mega rejection set up here inside the chart right now, and I'd like to analyze and share this with you all. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the potential rejection setup that I see forming right now. And although I'm saying that this is could be a heinous, savage rejection, I just want you to bear in mind that that does not mean that this whole bullish trend needs to come to an end. Although the drop may be significant, aggressive, and absolutely heinous in every sense of the word, and I'd like to show you why. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and observations on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Being said, let's begin here with this structure, this upward sloping channel that we've been trading in now for the past several weeks. What we've seen here is just defined resistance along the top with 4 touch points of resistance along the top, met with roughly 4 touch points of support along the bottom. Just a straight ping pong, ladies and gentlemen. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. And now we get posed with the question, are we going to once again get rejected and test the bottom of this trend, right? Are we going to see the ping pong continue here? And if so, are we going to find support back down in this region? Now, at first glance, this may not seem like much if we get rejected back down, but if we take our price range tool and extrapolate to roughly where we could see the trend line get met, that in and of itself is over a 10% drop to the downside. And although this would be savage, I still think it's healthy, as what we've seen happen time and time again is that we have been able to hold this line. We have been able to bounce back and continue the upward sloping momentum. So if this were to occur like this, I still think it would be healthy for the overall trend. But now let's discuss some other factors here, right? Because right now, I know the Moon Boys have been dancing on the tabletops. Oh, Kirby Owen, right? Trying to make like, oh, Kirby, you don't know anything. We're. I've seen 7,000 by Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. 6,000 by Tuesday. I've seen 10,000 by the end of May. Ladies and gentlemen, the goldfish brains are back, right? That's what I'd like to say it as politely as I can, ladies and gentlemen. Those with a minute sized brain have been back inside this market as of recent. Those who do not see this market with realistic expectations have been back inside this market as of recent. And those with moonshot dreams and Lamborghinis have been back inside this market as of recent. I think that this is a telltale sign, ladies and gentlemen. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index, greedy, back into a greedy territory that we have not seen levels of. We are at a 67 right now, ladies and gentlemen. The last time we saw levels this high, just want to make sure I'm getting this correct. There it is, was 1 year ago, ladies and gentlemen, May 6th, 2018. That is the last time the greed index has been this high for Bitcoin. And we all know what's happened historically when we've seen the greed get that high. A deep dive down into the crypto abyss. when you start to see a lot of moon boy dreamers entering the market, right? All of a sudden you start to see a lot of excitement. I mean, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I do not like to say it like this because I'm not trying to downplay that this market can be exciting. It absolutely can. But what I'm saying is that we see that the structure here is still bullish macro, right? But we are looking at a rejection. We see the crypto fear and greed index is very high. And could it go higher? Sure. But we've seen historically that this has been a level that it looks to dive deep after it gets this aggressively high. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but we know that looking at historical patterns can help us formulate a speculative point of view moving forward here. If we look, guys, let's pull up our RSI. On the daily RSI, we have a complete bearish divergence right now. From the top there, even from this one right here, we have just a significant bearish divergence upon the daily close of yesterday and today. And what we are seeing now is that we have a bearish divergence. We are at the top of a key resistance level, looking to potentially test down to an upward sloping support. We have our NVT, ladies and gentlemen, which has been 100% accurate in calling micro. Oh, every stream, ladies and gentlemen. if you're subscribed here, I've literally said called macro. Oh man, I just need to just forget everything I just said. The NVT has been a macro bearish signal all the way back to 2012. Every time that it has been read on a macro level, it has gone for a deep dive down. And the thing for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that I've been watching this upward sloping trend line for a break and a back test and a failure. And what are we getting right now, ladies and gentlemen? Grandma's cookies and a bottle of yo-ho-ho. It looks like we got our back test. Does that mean it has to be over? No, because it could climb higher like this. But right now, I've been awaiting for this, and we got our test, and we have tentatively been rejected here. This is very similar to what we saw the last time the NVT turned red. A break, a retest, a failure, a retest, a failure, chop, 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 and a plunge. Right now, I believe that we've got confirmation number 2 here. Confirmation number 1 was a break of this upward sloping trend line. 2 is a retest of the line and a failure. 3 for me, ladies and gentlemen, would be a break of this upward sloping trend line here. And for me at that point, ladies and gentlemen, kiss it goodbye. This thing may be truly headed into the depths of the crypto abyss. And you best believe Don Carbonaccio is getting ready to play this like an absolute savage. As I'm recording right now, Bitcoin is actually taking a dive once again, ladies and gentlemen. I see it as I'm recording right now. We have seen in the past 15 minutes here, if we go actually into the 5 minutes, we are seeing a nice rejection into the 600s, 5600 region right now. But I digress. We won't focus on the 5-minute chart because I think that is useless. Anyway. Let's talk some Fibonacci's here, all right? So, with where I have my fib pulled up, which is from our last swing low here, right? I have it pulled all the way up. What we can see is that we also, right now, even if we just pull back to our local fib here, the 0.236, right? If we were just to pull back to this region here, what we can see is that this in and of itself, from the top of the trend, is a pretty heinous 10% drop just to the local fib of the 0.236, which again is very healthy here. These pullbacks are healthy in uptrends, just keep that in mind. But even just a small drop to a relatively local support level, right? We also have price action support here, all past resistance and consolidation. This is definitely an area of interest, which falls at about 5,300 flat. Fibonacci's, consolidations, old resistance, tentatively becoming new support. Lots of confluence in that area at about 5,300. And that from the top of this channel is roughly a 9.5% drop to the downside. Heinous, ludicrous, and a borderline debacle if you do in fact ask me. There's number 1. If we drop to the bottom out of this and form a new low, I believe one of our last lines of defense is the 0.38. which would be right around here at about 4950-ish, 5,000, anywhere in this vicinity. But we would be breaking structure at that point, ladies and gentlemen. And if that happens, we may just see this thing take an absolute dive. Down to the 0.5 Fibonacci would be almost a 20% drop, and down to the 0.618 golden retracement Fibonacci for me would be almost a 24% drop, and it would put me right into my target zone here from a bearish perspective, right? This whole pink zone, ladies and gentlemen, is the old resistance level of our prior highs, and right now, with where I have my Fibonacci pulled up from, we could see that the golden 0.618 retracement is sitting right on this line where I would expect to see some potential support if we do capitulate down to that level. And as we can see, that would be nearly a 24% drop to the downside from the top of the channel. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of sentiment here that we could be due for a heinous pullback. I've shown you that the greed is very high right now. Also, if we look here at the Google Trends data, we can see that not much has happened here in terms of new players entering the market. And of course, this doesn't directly show you new players entering the market, but it shows you people searching for Bitcoin on the Google platform. And we're back right now, ladies and gentlemen, at an 8. We're looking at levels, you know, very early on in the bubble. I mean, the most comparable time for me here is right about here. July 2017, right? We were at a 9. We just closed April at a 9, and we are right now at an 8. So if we go back to July 2nd, right, where we were at a 9, I just want to show you guys the price of Bitcoin then, which is a good example to show, you know, roughly what we were looking at here. July 9th, if you guys look on the right-hand side of the screen, on the top window there, the high on that day was 25.79. Right here, all right? And the thing for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that that's roughly the same vicinity that Bitcoin was trading at just a month ago, you know, about 3,000-ish. And that kind of, to me, is where we should be at if we didn't get our manipulation wick, or candle rather, that pushed us up $1,000 in the blink of an eye, right? If we didn't get that, I still think we would be chopping around in this vicinity down here. And if we were, it would coincide literally directly with the fact that this was the interest level back in this vicinity when the price was very, very similar. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing that there's not really much new interest entering at all. In fact, we're retesting the lows of the past 5 years in terms of after the bubble here. We haven't been this low yet, or maybe one time right there. There we are. So just a little bit above the lows. The low is a 7. We're at an 8 right now. The absolute worst we've been since the peak of the bubble in December 2017 has been a 7. We're at an 8 right now. Guys, for me, it's just piling up that a correction is due here. And like I said earlier in the video, I don't want to make like this is the end-all be-all and we have to plunge deep down for a capitulation. Yes, I still think that the bottom may not be in, although I see sentiment that it could be. I'm way more neutral on this area being the bottom now, even if we retest there. I'm way more neutral on this being the bottom zone than I was several months ago, but I still see sentiment that this doesn't have to be. I could see us falling below there. I'm just being honest, and it could take a long time. Like it could take many, many months. But on the contrary, if we drop and hold this level above the old resistance channel, above our 0.618 Fibonacci, I do think that we still have a lot of sentiment here that this market could be due for a test of that 6,000 level and a flush break to actually begin the bull market. We're at a very pivotal time in this market right now. It's going to have to continue the bear market in absolutely savage fashion, or in a glorious, terrific, tremendous fashion. We're going to have to smash all of these levels here, burst through the 6,000, burst through the 7,000, consolidate, FOMO, see our Google Trends data pick up, see this greed index skyrocket like never before, which again, I don't think would be sustainable, but we'd love to see this meter go all the way into like the 90s. rather than a 60s where it's at right now. And the thing for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that I think that a pullback is one, in my opinion, to be expected here, at least to the upward sloping trend line, which I've pointed out is a roughly 9.5 to 10% drop from the top of the channel. And I think that that is something that should be on everybody's radar right now. Does this mean that the bull market has started or ended, whatever you'd like to say? I don't think that this has to define the trend as a whole right now. I think that this may just be playing a pattern within itself right now. I think if it breaks, it could be very bearish short term on a macro level, like I showed. I mean, just to our 0.618 Fibonacci is over 23% to the downside, which when you're playing with margin, leverage, etc., can be absolutely astronomical gains. Of course, you guys know I'm trading this aggressively right now. I keep my VIPs updated with every trade I make, ladies and gentlemen. I'm planning to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. There are those in this market that constantly get wrecked, right? You have to ask yourself the question, are you going to continue to look in the mirror and get wrecked? Or are you going to finally step your game up, step into the big leagues, and get this crypto once and for all? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. It's time to get this crypto. I'm going to be keeping you all updated with my trades, my setups, my strategies, etc. in real time. I'm going to keep you updated there in VIP. There is no excuse to be going to Wreck City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. There is no excuse, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now. It's time to get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. But yes, just to clarify, again, I want to make it very clear that the pullback, even if we get this dump all the way down, right, into this vicinity here, into that 0.618 range, right, it still may be macro bullish in an attempt to finally get some correction, but continue the uptrend here. Keep consolidating above our old bearish structure, right? That is the key, that the old bearish structure now becomes a new bullish support. See what I'm saying? That, my friends, is how this uptrend, in my opinion, could still be macro bullish, although we may be micro bearish right now. Lots of signs for huge, epic volatility here in the short term. I know I'm going to be trading this aggressively right now. Please, my friends, do not get caught like a deer in the headlights. Do not be taking that trip to Wreck City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. Of course, I'll never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. I am not your financial advisor. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk. What I'm telling you right now is to prepare for volatility. If you're not prepared to trade and get this crypto right now and keep yourself on the edge of your seat and on the tips of your toes, the chances are, ladies and gentlemen, is that you may wind up really getting hurt here in terms of not paying attention to monitoring your positions. This is the critical area here. We've already tapped my target for the bulls at 5,800. Of course, that target ranges all the way up to about 6,100, 6,150 with an overshot target of really up to 6,400. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we've already hit my bullish take profit zone number 1. We've already started to reject from this level. And of course, with the confluence of the fear and greed index, the Google trends, the RSI, the bearish divergence, the NVT, sheesh, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready for absolute volatility here. And of course, I will be keeping you all updated in VIP with my trades, setups, and strategies in absolute real time. I'm ready to crush this market. Are you? Don't get caught like a deer in the headlights, okay? I'll see you all in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. Guys, if you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. For if we get the dump, it could be savage. And on the contrary, if we do happen to defy the odds here, say we just come back for a little tap here and boom, or not even, say that we just get a short squeeze and just rip, lots and lots of liquidations, lots of profit, Lots of, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a pivotal point in the market. That's what I just need you to understand, is that where we are at right now is huge for the macro trend overall. Absolutely huge in both directions. I'm ready to crush it. Are you? It's time to get this crypto, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. Don't be getting caught like a deer in the headlights. Don't be taking that trip to Rec City. It's time to crush this market, and it's time to get this crypto. I will keep you updated with my trade setups in VIP right now. It's time to crush this market. Let's get this crypto. I'll see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. I'll see you in VIP right now. And until next time, my friends, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.